Hi, this is Adrian Holmes, and I play Uncle Phil on Bel-Air, and you are listening to Vibe 105.
Vibe Talks. Vibe Talks. More than just music.
Hey, everybody, this is Giancarlo Aulino reporting for Vibe 105 with a Sports VIBEtalks segment where we're happy to be joined by our guest today. An honor to be joined by him. He's making Canada proud. He plays Uncle Phil on the remake of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's called Bel-Air. He's Adrian Holmes. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm great, Giancarlo. How you doing?
Oh, doing great. And Adrian, this role right now, you killed it this season. I saw season 1 of Bel-Air. It came in. A lot of people may be on the fence about it. It's a remake of a classic sitcom. Just what were your initial thoughts of when you heard about the project?
Well, when I first heard about it, I thought, this is pretty smart. This is pretty genius. And I then when I saw the trailer, it just made sense. It just came together, and I thought, well, I'm definitely going to be watching this. I'm going to be looking for this, and I hope it gets made. Not thinking that I would be here sitting with you talking, being a part of this incredible legacy. But yeah, just everything, the stars aligned, and I'm so honored to be a part of such an iconic show. But yeah, when I first heard about it, I thought, well, they got to really get this right, because there's a lot of fans, who watched the original show, including myself, and they're going to be a tough audience to win over. So we got to make sure that all the pieces are in alignment for this one to really to work.
And were you approached for this role, or was it like a long audition process?
Yeah, I was approached. My team called me and said that the showrunners and the director, Morgan Cooper, wanted to see me for a Zoom producer-director session. So I normally, you'll put yourself on tape and you'll send it in, and then you wait and see if they're vibing with what you're doing, and then they call you back and you have that Zoom session. But I went right into the Zoom, which was quite surprising to me, actually. And when I read the material, I just really understood who he was, who he is, and the vibe, the energy, the essence of him. And I just said, well, you know what? I'm just going to have fun and just see what happens. Just throw what I got to the wall and see what sticks. And hopefully I'll be able to continue, working with these guys. And I just did that. And then everything worked out, a chemistry test, and here we are. It all happened very quickly as well. But I'm still in disbelief. And it was something that I never believed was, it would ever happen. I knew something was coming, but I didn't know what shape or form it was going to come in. So this is the perfect shape and form. It's something that I would have never, imagined that I would be so blessed to have this, to have this assignment, to be, have this responsibility of playing such a iconic, nostalgic role that James Avery brought to life so beautifully. Yeah, it's just, for me, it's like a tribute to him and giving back to him. And yeah, it's just, I'm just so grateful.
And when you found out about it, like, what was that like? Who told you about it? And like, what was your reaction? Because this is a big role that you got here.
Yeah. Well, I was shooting a movie downtown Vancouver at the time, and my team got on a conference call with me. And I know when I book a role by the tone of their voice, they'll be like, Adrian. And I'm like, okay, we got some good news. Okay. So they called, and sure enough, I got to Adrian, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And they're like, yeah, you got it. You're Uncle Phil. And I was like, oh my God. And of course, I just, everything kind of went quiet for a while. It was like in a vacuum. And, all the traffic, all the noise just disappeared. And then everything just came back like that. And I was just like, it was overwhelming. But what an amazing moment that was. I'll never forget it.
That's great. For those just joining us here on Vibe 105, we're being joined by Adrian Holmes of Bel-Air. And Adrian, I'm sure like a lot of people, when they get a role and then after it's like an iconic role, they start becoming identified by it. So have your friends, maybe people you come up across on the street, have they come up to you and say, maybe call you Yamakra or Uncle Phil?
Oh yeah, all the time. If I had $1, I tell you, yeah, there's a lot of Yamakras out there. And yeah, Uncle Phil, what are you doing here? Hey, Uncle Phil, like they're just surprised to see me, if I'm at a restaurant or wherever, and they come over, and everyone's just so nice. It's so nice to get the love, because I don't know how the show is resonating with everybody. I mean, everyone has a different relationship with the show and with the characters. But it warms my heart when people come up and just tell me how much they love the show, how much they love my rendition of the character. And it's just like, oh, we were of service. We delivered what we had intended and set out to do. And so that is just it's just been a really, really nice feeling to get all the love from the fans, and it's just been so well received.
That's great. And like, also, you're in an interesting spot, like compared to your colleagues on the show, because like you were mentioning James Avery before, he unfortunately passed away. So like, if you want to bounce ideas off like original cast members, like who have been maybe the biggest help for you as someone, like maybe you want to get into a scene and you just want to get some clarity on a situation, like who do you think who would you say has been the biggest help?
You mean of the original show, or on
like the
show?
Original show, if there's.
Well, I mean, I've watched not all, but quite a few of the original of the episodes of the original show. So, I mean, I understand James Avery. I mean, of all the characters, he's the guy that I would tap into and who I identify with, because that's who I'm playing, obviously. But the thing is, he was his authentic self, and he created his own shoes when he played that role. And that's what we've all done on this show, is we are creating our own shoes, and we're playing these characters in our own authentic, truthful way, for this time, for 2022. So I didn't feel that pressure of having to follow his footsteps in that way. I would he's an energy, he's a vibe, and as long as the energy and that spirit and the essence is there, then the rest is just me, and I get to just kind of navigate my way through in that, the way I feel that it's necessary, or what feels authentic to me and truthful and honest to me. So yeah, we just basically took it on ourselves and just created our own shoes throughout this whole process. It was like, Morgan even says, and actually I think Will had said this, it's like we were walking across a tight rope across the Grand Canyon. This was such a important and difficult project. The level, just how the magnitude of this. So we were all helping each other get across this tightrope, and we all made it across safely, and that's what we pride ourselves in. Now we're just like, thank God that's done. We made it, and we delivered our baby to the world, and he's being loved and cradled and coddled and just appreciated, and it's just like we're so over the moon.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this rendition, like you're all a part of it, and making it your own show. Like a lot of people, when they see remakes, like, okay, it's maybe a continuation, but this is its own feel. It's a dramatic turn on it. So they announced that it's going to be a season 2 before this season came out. Like when you're watching, or maybe talking to somebody who's not familiar with it, what would you hope they take away from sitting through and watching episodes 1 to 10?
Well, like the original show, what made the original show so special was that it tackled a lot of important issues, and it didn't shy away from those necessary conversations. But they just approached it through comedy and levity. This is the same model, except now it's more grounded in reality. The stakes are higher. And so, it really relates to the current temperature. I would want people to just just basically take from the show what the original did, was just allowing you to be yourself, to just trust in your own authenticity, and just to have conversations with your loved ones, your friends, your family. It addresses mental health issues, and addresses sexuality, identity. There's so many important topics that we speak on, and blackness and what it is to be black. And, there's an A side and a B side of the coin. And, the A side is actually what our show is representing. We do a good job of balancing both, but, unfortunately the B side, which is what, we're also, familiar with, just, it's a little more negative and, drugs and single moms and all that stuff. And that's in all cultures, every culture experiences that. But there's also the affluent, successful, high vibrational side of the coin. And that's what our show really represents well. And so I think I think that our show does a great job of just inspiring people to just to be their best selves, and just don't settle for mediocrity, just go for it and love. We have a strong theme of love throughout the show, and yeah, it's a beautiful story.
And also this story, like, it offers maybe viewers a chance to see actors in a different light, because it won't be a spoiler here for Canadian audiences because the episode will have aired by them. But Marlon Wayans comes in on the finale, and like, he's known as a comedic actor, but in this season or this episode, like, it's a dramatic turn. He knocked it out of the park there. Like, what was it like working with him as Uncle Lou in this season?
Man, he comes from the royal family of comedy. The Wayans are incredible. And when he came on, he was just so focused and just excited. And he just was of service. He knew what he had to do, and he just buckled down and did it. And he's great. We really got along well. It was just a really, really great experience working with Marlon. Yeah. He did a fantastic job with Lou.
Is season 2 filming, or like, have you got word of when that will be filming?
No, season 2 hasn't started yet. We don't have an official start date, but I'm thinking it'll probably be in a few months. We'll get back into the saddle, and looking forward to it. Yeah, I can't wait to see what they have planned for Phil and the rest of us moving forward.
Yeah, looking forward to it too as a viewer, because once you finish watching 10 episodes, like, okay, is the next one coming out? So
yeah, no, we've done a good job of, I'm really happy with how the season ended and just where everybody's at. And it definitely leaves you wanting more, no question.
For those just joining us here on Vibe 105, this is Giancarlo Aulino with a Sports VIBEtalks segment, being joined by actor Adrian Holmes. And Adrian, just going to shift gears here to basketball before we started recording here and started talking about, the Lakers, Golden State you were telling me about. Are you a strong supporter of the West Coast teams? And like, how did that all start off for you?
Well, yeah, I grew up playing basketball in high school, and but then that slowly, transitioned into the arts. But I love the game, man, and yeah, it's unfortunate the Lakers didn't make it to the playoffs this year, but I feel strongly that they'll get it together for next year. The Raptors, when I'm in Toronto, I try to get out to some Raptor games as well, and they're always fun. So yeah, that's it's a very beautiful game, and yeah, I try to get out to as many games as I can, but I haven't, unfortunately, lately because I've been just so busy. But I'll be in Toronto in May, so hopefully I'll get to a game then.
And like, who is a player that you would say like was your favorite? Because I know like a lot of people when they grow up, they identify with one player. Like for me and a lot of people in Toronto, it's Vince Carter, and then later on. But who would you say that player might have been for you?
For me, Michael Jordan. I got to go with the GOAT just because of his mental, just focus. He's like, it doesn't matter if he has a broken leg, he'll still score 30 on you, 40 on you. He's just incredible. He's like him and Tiger Woods. I'm a big golfer as well, and I'm excited right now. Tiger's playing the Masters, so it's athletes like that can push through any adversity, any pain, they can block out everything, all the distractions, and they're just in that vacuum, in that zone, and having that mental focus is a huge superpower. I believe in life. Period. I really identify with that, and I'm inspired by that.
And like, it's great that you mentioned that, because a lot of times like people ignore that athletes and actors, like it's similar because you're dedicating your whole life to your craft and just improving. So what advice would you give to maybe some young actors coming up that has maybe served well for you in your career so far?
Work hard, definitely nothing comes easy. Nothing, it happens overnight. Be patient, and know that it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And it might not happen when you want it to happen, but it'll happen at the right time. We don't realize that a lot of times there's work that we still have to do within ourselves to prepare us for that moment, because it changes a lot of things in your life. And if you aren't grounded, and if you're not, if you don't have that mental awareness, it can throw you off a little bit. And so I would just say, just to believe in yourself too, because you got to be your own biggest fan. And another thing is, no one can do you better than you. So if they're looking for you and you show up, then you've got that advantage over everybody else. So make sure you don't, sabotage yourself and psych yourself out by the competition. There is no competition. It's just you against yourself. And, and that's also another reason why I love the game of golf, because it's the same way. It's like, sure, you're playing with, you want to, get a lower score than your buddies, but when you're actually in the game, you're thinking about, okay, I got to beat my score from the last time I played. So it's me against me. So that's my advice.
That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that. And before we wrap up here, how can our listeners and viewers here follow you on social media?
I'm on Instagram at Adrian Holmes, and on Twitter at I am Adrian Holmes. So yeah.
Well, Adrian,
and Facebook as well. I'm Adrian Holmes on Facebook as well. So, but I'm not on it this one.
Highly recommend that follow. And Adrian, I really appreciate you sharing your time. It was an honor to speak to you, making Canada proud here on Bel-Air, and I wish you all the best in season 2.
I appreciate it, Giancarlo. This was fun. You take care of yourself, man.
And now back to your Vibe 105.